So one of the cool animals I wanted to talk about today that is no longer with us. Well, and their descendant is with us. The armadillo is still with us. But there used to be these creatures called Glyptodonts, and they were basically ancestors of modern day armadillos. But obviously, modern day armadillos are very very small creatures.
Yes.
Not much bigger than sort of like a house cat or like a small dog. But these some of the Glyptodonts, specifically like Doedicurus, got absolutely massive, like weighed over 2 tons, 13 feet in length, 5 foot tall, over 2 tons. So that's like the size of like a large family SUV, a large family SUV. Like think of a Land Rover Discovery or a big Range Rover, a pickup truck, anything like that, probably just over 2 tons. But these were like fascinating creatures. They originally evolved in the Eocene epoch. Really, really, really cool creatures. The Eocene was sort of between 56 million years ago and 33.9 million years ago. But they evolved during the Eocene. Absolute sort of tanks of animals. They had like a big almost impenetrable carapace all around their body. That were made up of these tiny bone shoots that are called osteoderms, and it would have covered its head, its back, and its belly. They also had like a tail with like a big spiky club on the end, so they could have given anything that wanted to like trouble it, given that a massive whack. The carapace was an inch thick, so it was pretty tough, man. Pretty damn tough. These like giant creatures would have just been walking around the land between 56 to 33.9 million years ago. Just living life, being cool, essentially. But one of the reasons I obviously brought up convergent evolution was because in the dinosaur period, we also had ankylosaurs that evolved to fill exactly the same evolutionary niche. So the most famous ankylosaur being Ankylosaurus. Which lived in the Cretaceous period alongside things like Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it was pretty much identical. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
It was a creature that walked on 4 legs, had a hard carapace-like head and body, and had a long tail with a club on the end. There were small differences, but you'd almost think to the untrained eye that they must be related. But of course, the Ankylosaurus was a dinosaur, which obviously from the reptile family lineage. Obviously, dinosaurs, the same as snakes and lizards and birds, all evolved out from a reptilian lineage. Whereas obviously the Glyptodonts were mammals, so Glyptodonts are more closely related to us than to ankylosaurs, even though on paper and even to a drawing, if you saw like a picture of them side by side, they look almost identical. You'd think they were almost the same.
One of them laid eggs.
One of them laid eggs. Ankylosaurs laid eggs, and then obviously Glyptodonts gave birth to live young. But it's really interesting as well because obviously the Glyptodonts were alive at the same time as human beings, and apparently humans even hunted Glyptodonts. So our ancient ancestors would have seen these like giant beasts roaming the land, and we even hunted them. Apparently there's archaeological evidence that short-faced bears, saber-toothed cats, and human beings all hunted Glyptodonts, and apparently if you go back really far back before the terror birds went extinct, terror birds did as well. So just so many fascinating points of history in over the course of our planet.